welcome back. And we have a tax rate hearing tonight by Dr. Berger. Go ahead. We got out early for this.
Where's your coat, Butch? Where's your coat?
Oh, there's five. August represents the month each year annually that we'll have a tax rate hearing, and I've got about 5 slides to take you through in just a moment to illustrate that. Actually, yeah, and I don't have to have the pointer. If you can just pull up.
Good thing you know.
Should be the tax rate hearing. It starts out the meeting, not the one that's of the action item. If not, we can pull it down. Work off that slide right there. That's good enough.
Estimated quantity.
So I'll take you through this slide real quick. The last year's tax rate of $295 for 2018 was due to Proposition 1, the approval of Proposition 1. Got to run that tax rate last year. On the left-hand column where it says proposed tax rate, $295, we run all that into the general fund. The teachers' revenue fund, we pay teachers out of that fund, but we do transfers out of operations out of the $295 into Fund 2. The interesting thing about debt service, and we don't have a historical tax rate or fiscal year 18's tax rate data yet, but I wanted to pull that to make sure. But I can tell you with 100% confidence that more than half the districts in the state under debt service will have a debt service rate, and the average debt service rate is about 60 cents. We have a 0. We don't run any debt service at all. And I would say that after I look at that data, I'll find for last year, probably about 2/3 of the districts, of over 500 districts in the state, will have a debt service. And again, we have 0 there. We run nothing in Fund 4. So the proposed rate for fiscal year 19, that's school year 18-19, will be the $295, and this will be the second year that we'll run the additional 20 cents that was due to the approval of Proposition 1. Take any questions the board might have. Only other detail I might point out, that will generate about $9.4 million for us.
Anybody got anything?
That'll come back around as an action item, Mr. President, and under action. Thank you.
Okay. Everybody please stand for Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Keenan makes a motion. Have a second. Mr. Quinn seconds. All in favor? 4, citizens participation statements.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have no requests for citizen statements as per Board Policy BDDH.
Written communications.
We had no written communications either.
Citizens update. Do you want to introduce him?
Yes, actually, and my apologies, Board, we true in Wayne Bardell fashion, Wayne came in, I think, what was it, Megan? I think late Friday afternoon. I got a handshake and a hug, and he handed me his iPad and said, "I'm leaving." And I had heard the rumor that was probably going to occur, but had no confirmation until then. And he said, and I said, "Well, when are you leaving?" And he said, "Well, I'm going to Fort Rucker tomorrow morning." And I said, "Well, there we go." So he said he would be getting with me. He mentioned a couple possible replacements for him in the interim, and we're very fortunate to have with us tonight Steve Richardson, who is kind of acting interim in Wayne's spot right now. So, Steve, thank you for being with us, and he'll give the military liaison report.
Thank you very much for letting me attend. We'll start off with the 25th of August, which is this Saturday. We're going to have a hiring fair for our new food and beverage facility. that's scheduled to open sometime in October. We have 25 positions open. It's been announced well, so as many people as we can get in, we appreciate it. Tuesday, the 4th of September, Wallace Pool closes for the season. Saturday, the 9th of September at 8 o'clock at Davidson Fitness Center, we're going to have the Family 5K Fun Run with the Children's Half Miler. And again, on the 8th of September, we're going to have the Piney Valley Club Golf Championships. Registration right now, we have 43 people already registered to attend that. Friday the 7th and 21st of September, we're going to have a farmer's market at the Recplex. The 15th of September, we'll have our fall yard sale at Baker Theater. The 21st of September will be our last movie in the park for the kids. It's Ferdinand the Movie. It'll be at Collier Park, and it'll start at dark. And the 22nd of September, we're going to have the Women's Club Championship, again at Piney Valley. And the last thing that I'd like to talk about in September, we're having a Barbenders powerlifting competition on the 29th of September at Davidson Fitness Center. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and welcome aboard. District announcements, Dr. Henry.
Thank you, Mr. President. I like Steve already. He's not making fun of me for not running in the 5Ks. So
Heard you
very
walk
good.
well.
I am a heck of a walker, let me tell you. Okay. I want to welcome everyone to the 2018-19 school year. I also want to thank our students, parents, staff, and faculty for helping launch a great school year. Enrollment is up. Last year we had approximately 5,800 students. We currently have more than 5,900 students enrolled in our district. That number will continue to be a moving target until mid-September, but so far it appears we will have more students this year than we did last year. Thanks to effective planning and federal B2 heavily impacted aid, we have ample room to accommodate this growth. The district will host its first ever Tiger Festival of Nations before the varsity football game starting at 6 p.m. on Friday, September the 14th at Tiger Stadium. Multiple nations will be represented and some food samples will be provided. Game admissions $4 per person. Athletic passes will be accepted, including senior citizen athletic passes. That is free, and you can get those in my office. We will host an open house at Waynesville Middle School sometime in September. We'll have more information, but we're excited to have the community out and see our new middle school. It's been great. The opening's been great. Appreciate the board's support during that time period. All the students moving through the hallways are much nicer now, I think, and there's light, and everybody's happy. Isn't that right, Mrs. Sumter? Yeah, okay, very good. Homecoming will be held Friday, September the 28th. This will be a half day of school for our students so that they may participate in the parade and homecoming festivities. Grades 6 through 12 will dismiss at noon. Grades K through 5 will dismiss at 1 p.m. on half days. As a reminder, August 31st will be a half day of school for students, and Monday, September 3rd will be a district holiday. And that would be all I have, sir.
Okay, and Dr. Fulmer handed me a note here to remind everybody, or to mention that the board will be presenting September 28th at the MSBA conference, going over our Outstanding School Board Awards. So we'll be doing that. Cantor, correct? Okay. Consent agenda items, Dr. Berger, or bed recommendations?
Yeah, pretty straightforward this month. I'm entertaining any questions, but.
Financials?
Bank of Crocker, in the MOSIP account, $39 million, $880,863.27. We have 10.5 in CDs. General account, $2,126,639.43. Payroll account, $55,718.47. Total funds for August, $52,563,221.17.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through J?
So moved.
Dr. Fulmer, second.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Kreider, all in favor? 7-0. Discussion item, gifted program review, Dr. Washington.
Good evening. We're going to go over the gifted program, and I have 3 of my LEAP teachers out with their LEAP shirts, if you'll wave your hands, who help provide services for our students who have qualified for the gifted program, and this is for August 2018. We have 4 core beliefs with our gifted program. The first one is a rigorous academic curriculum. We really want to meet the students where they're at. The second one is support and encouragement to nurture their giftedness. The third one is those opportunities to explore their creative abilities in the gifted classroom and work with peers who are like them as well. And the fourth one is real-world opportunities to be out in society and know that they can make a difference in everything that they do. We have 5 LEAP goals that we incorporate into our gifted program. Positive learning environment, embracing diversity is key. A safe, caring environment for them to learn and explore and learn how gifted students learn. Nurturing a culture where they're innovative and creative thinkers. Having those peer relationships, fostering those good peer relationships with all students, and then really involving the parent and community in the gifted program. The 4 performance standards really define all of the activities that we do with our LEAP program. Critical thinking and problem solving is the first one. Research, communication, and effective. And those are all standards that we look at when we build our curriculum. Obviously, for the gifted program, there's criteria that has to be met. General ability, the general mental ability is first and foremost. Their full scale IQ has to be at the 95th percentile, which is a full scale IQ of 124 or higher, which is the lowest set by the state, so that way we can make sure that we're capturing all of those students. Academic ability we look at the 95th percentile or higher. And then obviously creativity, reasoning, and problem-solving ability. A lot of these kids are out-of-the-box thinkers, very creative, and we want to make sure that we capture those students. Performance, how are they doing in the classroom? What are the teacher reports about those students? And if for some reason they don't meet 3 of those 4 criteria, we can always look at alternative criteria, such as our gifted evaluation scale, to really capture that student and make sure that we don't miss putting them in the program. We've really grown over the last few years. I have numbers on there for FY15 to FY18. If you look, our kindergarten population has really grown. We do mass screenings now at several grades, and I think those mass screenings have really helped capture students who we normally wouldn't capture. We're sitting around 14 students in kindergarten. If you look at 6th grade, we do mass screening now for 6th graders. So we had 12 in 2015, and we were sitting at 30 in 2018. So we've really seen a great difference. Go back. For 7th through 12th, we're staying pretty steady with those numbers. This year, we're adding mass screening at the 8th grade level for students who we may not have captured in the lower grades before we started mass screening. So we're hoping to keep those numbers steady. If you look at 2015, we had 158 students in the gifted program, and now we have over 200. We're sitting right at 203. One thing that's important to us is to look at the ethnicity data of our students. We want to make sure that we're capturing all ethnicities and cultures. So we track that, and as a team, we look at ways to make sure that we're reaching out to all of our student population. So there's the breakdown of that. And then twice exceptional means they're a student who's gifted, but also qualify for an IEP. They might have some type of learning disability or a 504, and that's about 3.5% of our gifted students. A majority of our gifted classes are housed at the middle school, kindergarten through 8th. They're all a gifted center. And then 9th through 12th is at the high school. And then Mrs. Vicki Thomas, she's our facilitator of our LEAP program. She teaches kindergarten through 2nd. Miss Amanda Starnes, she services 3rd and 4th graders. Laura Story, she services our 5th and 6th. And Joanna Van Belkom is 7th through 12th. And that's how we've divided up our classes for this year. I won't read all of this, but I want everyone to see the cute pictures of all of our students. This is our kindergarten LEAP students. That was about 14 last year, and kindergarten meets on Mondays and Wednesdays. Oh, skip 1st grade. 1st grade, roughly 15. They're really partnering with the St. Louis Zoo to look at zoo animals and habitats. Lego Robotics has been huge with our gifted students, creating alligators with motion sensors, learning to open and shut jaws. They thought that was really cool. Second grade, really looking at Lego Biotics again, biology, rainforest. They traveled to St. Louis to the Botanical Gardens and to look at the rainforest and study that. Third grade, there's 27 students. They did some exploration. They had some middle school biology pieces and thinking skills. They also collaborated with our older gifted students in the 5th and 6th grade to do some dissecting to help build those peer relationships. Fourth grade was our forensic science unit, and they also touched on middle school biology and had some field trips as well. We really started introducing those social emotional skills to make sure that they had the tools that they needed for those social relationships that were positive. Our fifth graders, just a few things and pictures that they did. We really looked at multiple intelligences and habits of the mind, and Wonders of Wildlife was an exciting field trip for many of them to learn, and then the Science Center. Sixth grade, you can see them there. They presented to the personal finance class, and then they also visited the state capitol to advocate for gifted education. One thing we did starting last year was a minor studies pilot program. The kids, we saw great success with that. We piloted 2nd, 4th, 6th, and 8th grade, and then they had 3 curriculum choices. And robotics was one, and that was the favorite of a lot of the students. They wanted in that one. But they also loved the theater, and then Where in the World is Mrs. Starnes? And that's where they explore different cultures and diversity, and that one was well received as well. And that's something we're going to continue for this school year. Middle school, all kinds of great things going on there. Criminal science, biology, lots of field trips. Fort Leonard Wood helped us, medical lab, and then they also went to the Capitol. With high school, their focus was health and personal finance, preparing for the ACT, really looking at college and career readiness, and then a lot of them had independent interests, so we did studies on that. We really try to involve the parents, and we love that parents are so involved with the program. So here's, I won't read through all of this, but here's some of the things that we did and invited parents, and we had great parent turnouts for all of our events, and we were very excited about that. Community, the students have been very involved with the community. They visited Sunset Village. They've also talked to different experts in different fields that they were interested in, and really reached out, and we plan on continuing that with even more community involvement activities for this school year. The foundation banquet, if you were there, then you probably saw the gifted team with all the robotics. The kids had a great time putting everything on display of what they had made and all the things that they can do with robotics. And we plan on working for this school year's foundation dinner to have them demonstrate some of the things that they've worked on. Community involvement, just some things, middle and high school level, very curriculum focused. There's a lot of service projects, the trunk or treat at the high school, college visits, and then we also did some mock interviews. Some of our celebrations, we did the first mass screening for 4th graders in the 17-18 school year, and then for this school year, like I said earlier, we're going to mass screen all of the 8th graders. We're very excited about enrollment numbers. I feel like we're capturing more kids. In June 2018, the students attended the Missouri Scholars Academy. I don't know if you noticed the logo on the very bottom with the little tree frog on LEAP, but that's our new logo that the kids made. It actually was our LEAP 10th graders, and our former frog had a 40-year reign, and we retired him, and we picked our new frog for another 40 years. So that was that one. One great thing was gifted advocacy with our middle and high schoolers. I think I had said that earlier, that they had went and talked to Representative Steve Lynch about House bills. Both bills passed, the House and Senate, so they were excited about that. So if this video works, they have a student video, and this is what they had presented when they were advocating for gifted education. This was made by the students. I wanted to thank the LEAP teachers for helping put that together and making sure they captured everything that they're doing and all the great things they're doing in the classroom with the students. And I'll definitely take any questions that the board may have.
I don't have any questions, but I know at the foundation banquet, I was very, very, very impressed with all of them. They shook hands. If they'd ask your name, from that point on, it was Mr. Schultz or anybody that was there. They were just unbelievable. Very good.
Yeah, we're proud of them. They did a great job.
Thank you. 2018-19 advisory committees, Dr. Henry.
Thank you, Mr. President. As you all know, and the public may not know, that each year our board members do a whole lot more than come here on a Monday night every once in a while. They serve on numerous advisory committees and also committees like TABS, which looks at board policy and other committees in the district. So I do have in front of you tonight a list of the committee assignments for the upcoming school year. Just of note that there's an advisory committee for each department in our school district, as well as our CSIP team and our TABS team that we have, and we do have wellness in there to support our wellness initiatives in the CSIP plan. So if you don't have it, I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have any, and appreciate your openness. Certainly there's some of you that might appear on a few extra ones. Mr. Schultz does have to go to work sometimes, so he's not able to serve on a lot of advisory committees, but if you want to trade him one up, he might want to buy another one. I don't know. So
When I didn't text you back, I thought maybe I didn't get any.
did you? No. The operations really wanted to keep you.
Oh, we eat good.
Sweet water.
All right, thank you. And then Waynesville Middle School construction update, Dr. Berger.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. And we got all of our 7th and 8th graders in the building. So that was a successful launch, but we are still wrapping up. And so Mr. Hussman from DHA is here to get us up to speed.
Okay, thank you. It's difficult to stay out ahead of progress with construction photos, but we'll do our best here this evening. I believe that our first photos begin, I don't know if that was the first one or the second one. Yep, here we go. Date 6 days ago, and I am not sure. I wasn't able to walk through the library this evening, so I don't know if shelves have been delivered or not. Does anyone know? Some shelves have been delivered. Okay, that's a step in the right direction for the library. That's a massive undertaking to move a library. And this is not a forensic scene with the tape on the floor. It is where the stacks will be placed, and you'll see the library come together very quickly. Next, almost a similar slide to the previous, but showing where the stand-up counter for computer entries will take place. That is right immediately in front of the circulation desk. This is the technology area of the library, but it is not the technology's furniture, and I don't know the status of that either, but that is going to be a very unique area, and I see the electronic media board is illuminated. Adjacent to those orange walls, if some of you haven't had a chance to go over, they're really a unique wall material that we use. They're large glass panels that have a magnetic surface behind them, so you can write on those walls. You can quickly erase, or you can do pin up with magnetic shapes to hold things in place. But it's a very, very functional and flexible room. Unique type of lighting that's in this room also. Let's see, cafeteria. I'm not sure how much progress has really occurred, but I understand that it's really becoming a fast favorite of many now that there's a lot of natural light in your new cafeteria compared to your old. All of the chairs and tables are now in place. I'm hoping, Michelle, that it's working well. Yes? Good, good. Okay, perfect. Like to hear that. The next several slides are a little bit older only because on the 14th we had a lot of rain, and I did want to capture the exterior. So Brian Nash took a number of photos, but they were even a little worse than these. And progress has really moved forward now with the west parking lot is now completely paved. It's not striped, but I understand that in the next few days, the apron or the entry approach onto that parking lot will be in place. And once that concrete is cured out to its appropriate strengths, then and I believe that it's scheduled for striping yet this week also. So that will become an active lot for you, which I'm certain you're anxious to have that in place. And again, older shot here, a couple of weeks old, but shows the magnitude. And if all of us can kind of remember how the parking lot was and how the new parking lot is taking shape, it really has transformed the western side of the building quite a bit, I think. The last couple of shots show an element that was lagging behind simply due to fabrication issues, and that's the installation of all of the metal metal fascia and metal awnings and such. And that's a slow, tedious process. It takes them a while to get that in place, and then once it's in place, it all has to be caulked by hand. And I believe once it is in place, then it's really the last element to add to the exterior, but it really completes the overall exterior of the building. A little bit of a close-up shot of that. That's it with regard to the slides, but this evening, at Dr. Berger's request, he had asked if I could maybe give you a real quick update on some construction issues and maybe associated dates. Substantial completion, and that's a term we architects use. That means that the building has been constructed and it's complete to the point where it's intended for use. So you have to have substantial construction before typically we allow the owners, in your case, to move into the building, because substantial completion triggers all of the warranty issues for the next year. So it's very important to establish that date just in case, a light happens to break or HVAC or anything really that's in the warranty period. So that occurred on August the 12th. But there are some exclusions to substantial completion. The west parking lot was not finished, so that was excluded. There are exterior handrails and guardrails. They're still not in as we speak now. As the photo had indicated, those metal panels are being installed, so they're excluded. Architectural canopies, that's kind of a minor one, and then finished grading is also in the process. So once all of those items are completed, then we will do what's called the punch list on those to make certain they are complete according to the documents, and then they will be attached to the substantial completion by an addendum, so that then triggers the warranty dates on those. So they'll run a little bit later or an extended period over the overall building. Punch list items by the contractor are scheduled to be complete on or about September the 3rd, and I think that they're making some pretty good headway on punch list items. Occupancy, the occupancy walkthroughs and inspections by the city, the fire department, and the health department were conducted on August 14th, and I believe there were no issues that were found, at least to my knowledge. Project closeout, that's always kind of an interesting one. We have a couple more applications for payment. Remember, they lag a month. So the application for payment, number 17, and that's work completed this month in August, will be addressed in September, and then we anticipate the last, which is always nice to have the last payment completed, and that would be the following month, and that is payment number 18, and that should be the final payment. Any questions about any of those items, photographs, progress? Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Don.
Moving to action items, 2018-2019 tax rate, Dr. Berger.
Gonna go through just a handful of slides here. I think maybe there's 4 or 5. Give you just a couple more pieces of information for the tax rate. The assessed value, real estate here, made up of commercial, agricultural, and residential, and then personal property. So you see good growth here. I think this represented about 2% growth, and this was just under 2% growth here for the personal property. Total assessed value, $314 million, rose up to $321 million. So overall, in that, in my tenure here, we've had one time right at 2%. The rest of the time it was under that, and that climbed above 2%. So that's good. Again, that'll generate about $9.4 million. And always love to bring this up. I know I hit it earlier in the tax rate actual hearing, but no debt service for our patrons. Still quite a bargain. And in fact, 93% of the 516 school districts in the state of Missouri still have a higher tax rate than our Waynesville R6 patrons at $295. So again, motion will be made for $295 operational levy.
Yeah, do I have a motion on that?
I'll make that motion.
Mike, Mr. Keelan makes the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
O'Reilly. Mr. O'Reilly makes second. All in favor, show of hands. 7-0. 2018-2019 tuition rate, Dr. Berger.
Yeah, much more of a formality issue. We've had one tuition-paying student in my tenure here at the district, but we make that easy. We take the ASBR, which is due August 15th. We look at the amount per weighted ADA. That was $9,985. We typically round up, so we're asking for a tuition rate of $10,000 this year. And currently, we have no students, no tuition paying students registered.
Do I have a motion on that?
So moved.
Dr. Former makes a motion. I have a second. Mr. Quinn seconds. All in favor, show of hands. 7-0. Proposed revisions to the 2018-19 staffing plan, Mrs. Bells.
Thank you, Mr. President. The administration recommends approval of the proposed additions to the 2018-19 staffing plan. 1 FTE speech paraprofessional at East Elementary and 2 FTE paraprofessionals at Thayer Elementary.
Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? Mr. Deary makes a second. All in favor, show of hands. 7-0. And welcome back, Tiger TV crew. I am sure Mr. Wallace and Dr. Passon are happy to have you back. They did a pretty good job for you guys over the summer, so. All right, with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Keeling, motion.
I'll make that second.
Mr. Riley, second. All in favor, show of hands. All right, we are adjourned.